Hi Puddin'! This is Sharon from Love Lady Luxe, and today I'll be showing you how I created this look. It is very obviously a Harley Quinn look, and it's something that I have been waiting a very long time to do, basically all year, but I'm pretty sure even with it coming up to Halloween, I probably would have done it anyway. So I'm very excited to show you how I achieved this look. Also, I'd like to mention that I feel like this is a pretty easy costume idea if you have a last minute Halloween party invite. It was pretty straightforward to do. Like I've just got my Batman shirt on, and if you just wore some like little shorts and boots, like you could very easily pull this look off. It really is all about the hair and the makeup. Like, you could really easily get away with a very simple costume if you have this look. So, if you would like to see how I achieved this look, please keep watching.
So I've put one of my boyfriend's old shirts over my normal shirt, just because this is going to end up being a little bit messy. I've just gone through and parted the front section of my hair on the side because I prefer it, and I'm going through now and separating the rest of the hair straight down the middle, dividing it into two sections, taking out that front piece that I want to remain as the fringe, and putting that hair up into a pigtail. Taking out that other front section, and putting the other side up into a pigtail as well. These are positioned probably about halfway up the side of my head. Taking my GHD hair straightener, I'm just going to be taking sections, placing it in between the two plates, flipping it and dragging it through to make the curl. Just going through all of the sections of hair until you finish curling it. Some pieces that are longer I'm going over twice, just going through and curling that front section. And now the other side of the fringe. I'm only going to be continuing until I finish curling the hair in completion. Once again, putting the hair in between the two plates, flipping it and then dragging it through. Next, I'm taking some disposable gloves and some old Napoleon PERDIS eyeshadows in pink and blue. Taking the blue shadow, I'm going to take sections of my hair and start dragging that eyeshadow through. You can also use hairspray, you could also use actual hair dye, but the eyeshadow was accessible to me. Next, I'm taking the pink eyeshadow and repeating the same steps, just dragging that pink eyeshadow through my hair. And I did feel that it wasn't as pigmented on the blue side, so I took that blue eyeshadow and took it through again. Taking my Sonia Kashuk flat brush and my Napoleon PERDIS Renewal Serum, just pumping a few drops onto my hand and starting to brush that over my face. Taking that same Sonia Kashuk flat brush and my Napoleon PERDIS Pre-Foundation Primer, I'm going to take a large pea size, put that on my hand and start wiping that over my face as well. Taking my Benefit Professional Pore Minimizer, taking a small pea size and working that into the pores on my cheek, my nose and the side of the forehead. Next, I'm taking my Jessup Multi-Purpose Angled Brush and my RCMA KA Concealer Palette using the shade KA1 and starting to work that product into the brush. Applying that onto my face, doing a thin coat at first, and I'll go in with a second layer to build up that coverage. Not forgetting the ears. Taking my Sonia Kashuk flat concealer brush and my RCMA KA palette in shade KA1. I'm going to start working that product in underneath my eyes and in the inner corner, just to conceal any purple or dark circles under my eyes. Next, I'm taking the Jessup Flat Top Contour Brush and the RCMA Contour and Highlight Palette in shade S2 and starting to define my cheekbones. And taking along the jawline, it looks a little bit crazy at the moment, but we are going to be buffing that out. It's just to create some definition because our skin is so pale at the moment. Taking that along across the top of the forehead and further down the neck. Taking the concealer brush and the KA1 concealer, we're going to start carving out the contour, creating some definition, but using that foundation brush with the remaining foundation to buff that contour out. Taking my Sonia Kashuk buffing brush and the RCMA cream blush palette in Coral Kiss, I'm starting to work that over my cheeks and buffing that product in. I'm going to be leaving it quite pigmented so that it stands out. Taking my Wild Ferns Bee Venom lip plumper and placing that over the lips. Taking my trusty Benefit High Beam highlighting cream and placing that above the cheekbones. Across the Cupid's bow. Tip of my nose and the top of my chin. Taking my Jessup powder brush and my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I'm going to start patting that powder all over the face, making sure I don't disturb the lighter foundation we have set down. Making her guest appearance, this is my makeup assistant Lily. She's 3 years old, she's at Jack Russell Cross Chihuahua, and you can follow her on Instagram at Lily the Jack Cheek. Taking a Sonia Kashuk spoolie and brushing the brows through, and taking a Jessup angled brush and my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Dip Pomade in taupe, and I'm going to start defining the outer end of my eyebrow. Starting to work my way in and further defining the lower arch. Cutting in with some concealer to make sure that the end of the brow is sharp and defined. And I'm going to be filling in the rest of the brow and creating some little hairs with that brush. Using my Urban Decay Primer Potion in Original, I'm going to be applying a generous amount across the lids and buffing that into my eyelid with my finger. Taking my Sonia Kashuk fluffy eyeshadow brush and my Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette in the shade Stark, I'm going to start working that product across the whole surface of the eyelid as a base, and I'm doing that on both eyes. Next, I'm taking my Sonia Kashuk crease brush and the Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette shade in Cover, and going to start working that product through the crease, once again doing this on both eyes. Using my Jessup Precision Smudge Brush and the Urban Decay Electric Palette, the darkest shade, which is Chaos, I'm going to start packing that eyeshadow on the outer corner of the left eye up to about the halfway point. Making sure that we're only putting blue eyeshadow on the left eye because we're going to be putting red eyeshadow on the right eye. I'm going to start buffing that in and dragging it along the lower eyelid. I'm going to start drawing 2 lines, starting from the outer corner and drawing a second line a little bit further in front of that. As I have less product on the brush, I'm going to start dragging it further down to diffuse that line. Taking a fluffier Jessup crease brush, I'm going to start buffing that blue eyeshadow into the brown crease shadow. I'll also be adding more blue to build up the depth of the color and swapping back between blending it out. Taking that Jessup Precision Smudge Brush and the Lime Crime China Doll palette using the black shade, which is Lotus Noir, I'm going to start patting that on the outer corner and dragging that into the outer third. Just want to create a bit more dimension with this look and dragging that along the upper and lower lash line. Using that fluffy crease brush, I'm going to buff out that black eyeshadow and drag it down. Taking my Jessup Fluffy eyeshadow brush and the lightest blue shade from the Lime Crime Tonadol palette in Parasol, and placing that eyeshadow on the inner third of the eyelid, using my crease brush to blend that out. I'm also taking that along the lower lash line. Taking my Jessup small eyeshadow brush and Revolt the silver shade from the Electric palette, patting that on the inner corner to create my highlight. Using my Jessup crease brush and my Napoleon PERDIS colour disc in Cobalt Shimmer, I'm going to start packing that on the mobile lid and start dragging that down, and that completes the left eye. Taking my Sonia Kashuk crease brush and the Lime Crime Tonadol palette, using the red eyeshadow Fly Dragonfly, I'm going to be repeating the same steps on the right eye by packing that eyeshadow on the outer corner up to about halfway across the lid and starting to drag that down with 2 lines. So even though I'd been thinking about doing this tutorial for a while, I didn't put very much planning into it, and it was sort of done on a little bit of a whim. And I realized after starting to draw my lines that I had drawn them in the wrong direction, so I'm just rubbing that off with my finger and going back in and correcting that. Great thing about this look is it's meant to be a messy look. And I'm just taking my crease brush and blending that eyeshadow out just as we did on the other side. So as I said, we're repeating those steps. So I'm taking my Sonia Kashuk Precision Crease Brush and the Lime Crime Tonadol palette, the black eyeshadow Lotus Noir, and packing that on the outer corner. Taking that along the lower lash line and dragging it along those 2 lines. Buffing out that eyeshadow we've just laid down. Next I'm taking my Sonia Kashuk Fluffy eyeshadow brush and the Lime Crime d'Antoinette palette in the shade Royal Flush, which is this pink shade, and packing that on the inner third of the eyelid. Helping that to blend the lower lash line as well. Taking my Jessup Fluffy brush and the Urban Decay Electric palette, using that silver shade Revolt and placing that on the inner corner. Taking Sonia Kashuk crease brush and Napoleon PERDIS colour disc in Cherry Bomb, I'm going to pack that on the mobile lid, and that completes the eyeshadow portion for this look. Using my Sonia Kashuk angled brush and my Napoleon PERDIS gel liner in Yin, I'm going to start lining the lash line, and I did this on both eyes. I'm also going to be lining my lower waterline, and I'll be doing this by taking my pinky finger, holding the skin down and placing the brush along the waterline. If you are not comfortable doing this, you do not have to do this step. Taking my Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof mascara, I'm going to start applying a generous amount to the lashes on both eyes. Taking these Ardell Demi 120 false lashes, apparently these are natural, and my Ardell black lash adhesive, and placing that along the band of the lash, setting those aside to go tacky. Taking my Urban Decay Gwen Stefani lip liner in Rocksteady, starting to draw in the Cupid's bow, drawing in the arch of the lip and connecting that through the corner. And I'm just filling in the lower lip line. Taking my Sonia Kashuk lip brush and the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Collection lipstick in Rocksteady. Just coating both sides of the lip brush and starting to fill in my lips. I'm really making sure that I'm refining the edge with the lipstick over the top of the lip liner we had already applied. Now filling in the lower lip, doing the same thing. Just refining that edge. Taking my KA1 concealer with my concealer brush and starting to cut in the edge of that lip line just to really refine it. Taking that across the upper lip line as well. Taking those lashes and starting to place them on my existing lashes. Placing the center of the lash in the center and then positioning those outer corners, really making sure that they're flat against my own lashes. Our look is almost complete. I'm going to be taking my Sonia Kosciuszko lip brush and my Napoleon PERDIS gel liner in Yin and starting to draw the heart on my cheek. So I'm actually using the shape of the lip brush to make the round sections of the heart and dragging that down. So I'm crossing them over. As you can see, it's creating the heart shape, and using my concealer brush just to clean up the edges.
So that completes the final look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you found it helpful. It was a lot of fun to do, and I'm really glad that Harley Quinn could be my first Halloween tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like, you can leave me a comment, request, or question down below. This was Love Lady Luxe, and I'll see you next time. Hey Mr. A, you wanna go get some dinner?